Hi, welcome to Intern NE, powered by Aksarben. I'm Megan Bell. I'm the operations manager for Intern NE.
My name is Justin Krug. By day, I am an early stage employee at a startup here in town called Workshop, and one of the co-hosts of this podcast.
Awesome. And we have a special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Dillon De Rozairo. I'm the CEO of a company called Nebraska Innovation Labs.
Woo!
I'm excited to hear about this.
I was stoked to connect today when I saw that you were our guest, because you're doing a lot of exciting things at the moment. So we wanted to, give you the platform to share a little bit more about what you're doing. So thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. Tell us about Innovation Labs.
Yeah. So it is a not-for-profit software and app development shop. So it basically helps startup founders or entrepreneurs turn their ideas into real market-ready products in that software and app space. And it's a low-cost kind of alternative to what people kind of usually expect when building something to, get them to market faster and encourage more entrepreneurship in Nebraska, ideally, but really anywhere, because, why limit ourselves to Nebraska alone? So, but yeah.
Yeah, because Innovation Labs was a startup from your dad.
Correct. So he started it as a way to give back. He has started a few companies here in Nebraska. And I think, as you both know, everyone in Nebraska is super nice, super willing to make connections. And so therefore, it is really a good place to start a company. And so when you factor all that in terms of a network and then access to resources, I think both of those combined can be, huge fuel to the fire in terms of creating something big and really taking it far. So.
Wow.
And I imagine for your dad, it was likely going through it, stumbling a couple times, having some wins along the way, of course, but it probably showed a lot of the gaps of what is needed for founders to be successful. And so was that sort of his philosophy and the reason that this came to be, frankly?
I think so, yeah. I think there definitely is a lot of, so how we operate as a not-for-profit is we pair junior talent with senior talent. So that achieves low-cost MVP development, minimum viable product development, but it also gives that kind of youth a chance. With that being said, and kind of why we exist and why we're unique is that's not a common way that people get something built, or even how companies kind of in general operate is pairing those people and very specifically focusing on that, because our junior team or junior team members do a majority of the development. Our senior talent that oversees them as kind of a mentor is very hands-off. We don't want them to be doing it because we want it to be a full learning experience, to where when that junior talent goes somewhere else, they have been through the whole process. They haven't had stuff done for them or had holes in the process that they have to kind of figure out themselves. Yeah. So it's a really unparalleled process, as they're so hands-on. And then when they come out of it, they have a really unprecedented item in their portfolio. And so when you're doing something new like that, it's often, you're going to run into stuff. And it's, something as little as, we have a mix of, the age range varies in terms of interns. So you have some that might work only 20 hours a week and some that might work 40. Then you start factoring in seasonal items, and then you factor in, maybe someone's on just UI UX stuff versus being full stack developer. And so, UI UX people probably aren't in as much as full stack people might be. And so all of those factoring in, and we did it one by one, starting in 2020. And I say we, but he started in 2020. And then we officially established last year as we figured out kind of all the kind of items that needed to be ironed out. And then I came on last year part-time and kind of helped scale it. And then this year I decided to come on full-time because it really needed a lot more kind of emphasis behind it. And it's been great since. So
2 quick follow-up questions, if I can.
Yep.
What are you at for number of employees that are making this possible? And 2, are you doing any sort of tracking of the talent that is being developed here that ends up at, startups in town and those things? I'd be super curious to know.
Yeah, so currently we're decently small, and we are adjusting our team size kind of as it goes. We're very flexible with that. So our team consists of under 10, but it's a little less. It might be closer to 5 now because we just finished and are finishing another project. We finished one and are finishing another one. And so
small and mighty team.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we're looking obviously to expand. We have big goals for this year and in general. And then I guess, what was the other question? Sorry.
Yeah. The other one was just about like placement, like in tracking that. You know, you're developing a lot of this talent, which is great.
Yeah.
Are you guys seeing, you know, where those folks are landing and tracking some of that?
Yeah. So on top of, you know, kind of what I guess people might know is we're obviously looking at founders and entrepreneurs who need stuff built, and then talking to senior and junior talent to build what they need. But on that talent side as well is I'm going out and talking to, you know, the HR teams of companies, big or small, whether it's a startup that just needs maybe a, you know, developer intern or UI UX intern, all the way through to, you know, the biggest players, the big companies that everyone knows here and, you know, throughout the US, though we're trying to keep them in Nebraska. And talking to them, getting connections into their HR and letting them know that we can be a kind of warm intro access to talent so that, you know, they aren't just going through and, you know, looking through thousands of resumes and not knowing, you know, who they're getting. Here we can tell them, you know, here's what you worked on, here's the kind of person they are, here's what they experience, and very much warm intro them so they know what they're kind of getting. So,
which is great.
Yeah. So when you're talking about matching the junior and senior mentorship, that's actually perfect for Intern Nebraska. And you were just awarded. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So how are you going to leverage interns in your company?
So, I mean, they do a majority of the work. So they also get a decent amount of control as well, I want to say, because when you're getting some software developed, you as a founder or whoever's kind of leading whoever's idea it is, you can't tell them every fine detail of how you want it built. So when our interns come, they are not only like kind of, I guess, not doing what they're told, but they're also getting a little bit creative and figuring stuff out as they go, because once again, the founder can't tell them everything. So it's, you know, hey, build this, and they don't, you know, it's not build it by putting this, and this. It's rather, you know, build this, and they'll get decent direction, but they have a little bit of control as well. And they get to factor in their prior experiences, how they think it should be. And that helps the founder, if at all, because you know, I always say it's like at the beginning, you can kind of be a smaller team, but as you grow, you want more people to kind of touch it and give feedback. And so
it sounds like these interns have so much creative freedom, if I'm hearing this correctly.
Pretty much so, yeah. As I watch a lot of the meetings, it's the founder. We want to have our founders very active in the kind of whole process. We don't want it to be, hey, build this app, and then they come back, you know, however many months later and look at the final product. We want them to meet every week, come into the office if they'd like, all of our talents in the office, and we want them to, you know, be involved. So when I watch, I'll sit in on meetings occasionally and watch them kind of demo what they built for the founder. And the founder basically told them what he or she wanted, but then they see it and it's completely, you know, you'll have a different idea than often what's given. And it's good most of the time. But yeah, so they do have a pretty large amount of control over what they build.
Which is phenomenal. You know, I'm just reflecting as an intern myself on in a previous life. Goodness, I mean, at the time, it was almost like some of these things were, frankly, probably over my head. But you're in an environment where those folks trust you. They give you some direction. They help you when you're stuck, and allow you to just figure it out. And like, wow, that just allowed me personally to feel like I was just growing and rapidly developing as a professional, as a person. And I think it sounds like they're going to have that same opportunity with you guys, which is just amazing.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, sounds exactly like what an internship should be like, is learning on their own, but also getting that mentorship part of it. So,
and a level of trust, frankly, to go tackle challenges that they may not have all the answers to, but there's a level of trust there to say, here's some direction, but figure it out. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So how can we help promote Innovation Labs?
Yeah, I would say kind of it's almost a bit of a funnel, or I guess it's probably a better term for it, but it all starts with the founder. So founders or entrepreneurs, and I say at all ages, whether you're in high school and you have an idea all the way through to you might be a company that just wants to build a version 2 of their app. Come to us. We're willing to hear what you've got and, you know, tell you what's next. If you're a student with an idea, we'll tell you, you know, what are the next steps. Talent, same thing. We always need talent. Companies that want access to the talent, we'd love to talk, set something up there. So yeah, any of those, we'd love to chat.
Awesome. And now you're looking for interns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
That's
I think
great.
we've got something that might help with that.
Perfect.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. It's great to be here.